that um, to be disruptive in general has negative connotations with it, such as being rebellious, to inhibit some type of flow. And this can be applied to any context, really. So in the context of public health care or public health policy, I think obviously to disrupt that is to hinder social order, to hinder the flow. But I think we have to, as a public, reevaluate and question, what does that really mean?
Because of the power dynamics in our culture and the fact that the sort of status quo is male dominated, then women being empowered or seeking empowerment is inherently disruptive.
Yeah, which makes disruptive women empowered women.
When I hear disruptive women and think about it in the context of healthcare, I particularly think about the Texas Senate 5 bill that was passed, or was attempted to pass earlier this year in the legislature, that essentially closed down. It prevented every one but 5 or 6 Planned Parenthood from providing abortion services. And why the term disruptive women makes me think of that is because there was a huge rally outside of the Capitol buildings where thousands of women were protesting the passage of this bill, and it got to the point that they physically were dragging women out of the chamber for being disruptive. They were yelling during the attempts to take the vote to stop it, and they ended up calling it the people's filibuster. So when I hear disruptive women, that's kind of what I think about.
In the media, because if she speaks out and questions the status quo, then she's perceived oftentimes as a slut, right?
Yeah.
Rather than thinking of her as being somebody who's fighting for her reproductive rights and things like that. She's
for the reproductive rights of everyone. I mean, it's made really personal,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not like it wouldn't also benefit. I think it would benefit everyone.
Disruptive women are people who look out for themselves and know what's best for their body, and so in terms of public health, they tend to be ones who are more outspoken about things they think are wrong with decisions made about their bodies or other people's bodies.
I think women people in general, the public in general, tends to be miseducated or not completely aware of all of the things going on with the government and policy making.
Maybe just an issue of becoming educated about what your options are.
When I think of disruptive women in the context of health, I think of more positive things, such as women who champion for sexual education or equal rights for women to have mammograms and health benefits and health coverage.
Women who tell their doctors when they know that they're not being looked out for, or making the personal decision to do things that they know that are right for their bodies.
To be disruptive means to challenge politicians, to challenge doctors, to challenge the social order of I guess the medical industry, healthcare, the structure of healthcare, and I think that's really necessary. I think it also means to be educated, and to question what are the intentions, underlying reasons that politicians enact certain laws pertaining to healthcare.
A woman who disrupts the normal proceedings of, I guess, governing functions or social functions.
Being active in the case of healthcare, being active in your own health, and communicating with your doctor, and also paying attention to the legal issues and the political fights that are going on, and getting involved in those, I think.
To take the initiative to educate themselves, to stand up.
Be talking with their doctors, obviously, but then also be looking for other options. They need to get themselves educated, find out what all their choices are.
And what's going to work best for their own situation. It's, I mean, everyone's body is different, and everyone's circumstances are going to be different.
And I think that an empowered woman is somebody who goes and looks at what all of her options are and makes the decision that is best for her in her specific situation.